there, Marina Orms here, and today I want to talk about the upcoming Libra New Moon that will be exact on Tuesday morning at 5:24 a.m. Pacific Time at 28 degrees Libra. So we have, as of Sunday morning, we have the moon now in Libra and will be in Libra because that new moon forms toward the end of Libra, 28 degrees. So we're wrapping up the current moon cycle, but also looking toward the next moon cycle that will begin with that new moon coming up. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Sunday, October 19th, looking at the Tuesday, October 21st Libra New Moon. And today I want to try something a little bit different. I'm going to be sharing a screen, my screen of the chart of the Libra New Moon, and I'm curious what you think. I know some people like to see all the symbols and what it looks like, and others maybe just want to jump to what does it mean. But let me know what you think. We'll try it and we'll see how that feels today. But first, I do want to just share some thoughts before I jump in and look at that chart. This is a Libra new moon. So, Libra is the energy of relationships and partnership and how we work together with others. So, significantly, the last new moon, the last moon cycle began with a new moon at 29 degrees Virgo, and that was a solar eclipse. And as I mentioned in my discussions about that potent Virgo eclipse, 29 degrees Virgo is a very, very significant point because not only is it the end of Virgo, the final or anaretic degree of Virgo, but it is also the final degree of the first 6 signs of the zodiac. So it is actually completing that work of the first half of the zodiac, which um, everything has to do with our personal process, but those first 6 signs are more personal. They're more inward. They deal with figuring out how to be me, how to be yourself. So they are about that inner process of learning and growth through figuring out who you are, how you learn, how you share what you need, how you express yourself creatively, how you work. Those are the first 6 signs: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. But as we enter into Libra, we begin the next 6 signs. So we are moving now into new territory with this moon cycle that says, okay, you've had this work to do on yourself to figure things out, to get things sort of sorted out, straightened out. And what does it mean for you to now in your the next phase of your journey, you need to share your experience. It needs to be just not just about you, but about you in cooperation, you in relationship, you partnering in some way with other people, another person. And so this includes romantic relationships, long-term relationships, intimate relationships, but it also includes other kinds of relationships. So friendships, co-workers, peer relationships, colleagues. So thinking about what is next for you in terms of your own learning and growth that involves doing something together with another person. And again, this is definitely something that plays out in your romantic relationship or your long-term partnership, but it also plays out and can play out in other kinds of relationships. So the point is that it's about the dynamic between you and another person and what that adds to what you have been learning and working on within yourself and learning about yourself. So Libra is is now moving us into the realm of how do we do this together? How do we work together? And this Libra new moon at 28 degrees Libra also is is noteworthy to me in that it is a mature Libra new moon. So at 28 degrees, it's not brand new. This is saying, okay, where do you need to deepen? Where do you need to take something seriously? Not just a frivolous relationship, but really something deeper, something more meaningful. And that is also accentuated through a couple of things. One is Mercury and Mars joining up in Scorpio. So a conjunction of Mercury and Mars in Scorpio that takes us deeper by necessity. So the energy of Mercury is communication. Our communication needs to go to a deeper place. We need to be more real, more honest, more truthful with ourselves and in how we share with another person. Also Mars, how we how we get what we want. Mars is how we take action to make something happen, to go for what we want. It is the drive that compels us forward to move on something, to act on it. And in Scorpio, it's taking us again to a deeper place, one that is more honest, real, raw, and truthful. So there's a need that is accentuating our need to focus on the part of relationships that need some deeper work. And that deeper work will also serve the bigger picture of what you are wanting to make happen in your life and in the world and in this bigger creative process that I've been sharing about as we think about the outer planets and so on. And last Sunday, I shared about those outer planets and that bigger process that we're in. So you could go back and check that out or review it for a reminder on what that bigger process is. And then finally, so three three things I'm noticing at least that underscore, maybe four, underscore the sort of the depth and the importance and the seriousness of this Libra new moon. And so the next one is a yod that is forming, or the Libra new moon is in a in the third point of a yod between, or sextile between Neptune and Uranus, both pointing to the new moon in Libra. Uh, Neptune is poised during this new moon, just about to re-enter Pisces. So it's at 0 degrees, 1 minute, um, Aries. And so and Uranus is at 0 degrees Gemini. So this is all very significant. And that yod is saying, what do you need to do? What do you need to get right? Where is your attention needed to focus on something related to partnership, to cooperation, to relationships, that you need to really look at and take seriously, because it has significance for this moment and your journey and what comes next. And so that yod is there, and then the fourth thing is that Neptune is just about to re-enter Pisces. And last week on Sunday, I shared about that process and the retrograde planets going back into the signs that they recently left. So that bigger picture process is also kind of adding some potency to this Libra new moon. So let's take a look at the chart and I will share what I'm seeing. There's our new moon, sun and moon coming together in Libra. And here is the yod. So we've got Neptune here at 0 degrees, 1 minute Aries, Uranus over here in a sextile to Neptune, 0 degrees Gemini, both of them pointing in two inconjuncts, which is what creates this yod here to the sun and moon. So what that's saying is all eyes are on you. How are you going to do this? What are you going to do to get this right? What does that look like? And so feeling that pressure, feeling that importance, that significance, that seriousness, and so again, focusing on relationships. And this is not, like I mentioned, this is not new or superficial in terms of relationships. This is late Libra, so it's mature. It's really asking for our maturity and to bring our maturity and our wisdom, our experience, things we've worked through in the past to get to this moment, to bring those to our relationships as part of that process of accessing a deeper place of honesty and truth, and ultimately, hopefully, building deeper trust. Because in and through that process of trust building, we can be more potent, more powerful, more creative. So here is Mars and Mercury conjunct in Scorpio at 20 degrees. Mercury is just a little bit past Mars. So, but again, activating that deeper Scorpio truth. And by the way, this chart is a 0 degrees Aries chart. I just like to do it that way when I share because it's not for any particular location. Because we're all in different locations watching this video. So just recognize that the houses don't really apply here. You will have a particular house for your location, but I can't do it for everybody. So this is just generic. So anyway, it's not really necessarily in the eighth house, but it is in Scorpio with Mars and Mercury joining up there, taking us into that deeper place of needing to be honest and real, and first and foremost, honest with ourselves so that we can bring that sense of truth and depth and honesty to another person and to our process of healing and trust building and intimacy building within a relationship. What else? Okay, so we also have the sun and moon in this is here. Let me just clear this a little bit so we can see. Okay, we have a kind of a T-square here. Also, in addition to that yod, opposition between, now Jupiter is really moving into its opposition with Pluto. Jupiter's still in Cancer, and Jupiter will be going retrograde, so it's not going to hit that fully opposition yet. But what we see in this chart is that T-square pointing to the sun and moon. So there's pressure here. There's a challenge. There's a need to make a decision, to move something forward, to be clear with ourselves, and that will facilitate this process of building trust and the maturity that our relationships need to have in order to do this work and be the most potent and powerful and impactful going forward. So in other words, let's see, did I cover everything? I got the yod here. Here is, oh, by the way, no, I won't. I won't talk about that now. But this is where the sextile is. So just FYI, the Uranus trine to Pluto is here. Pluto's sextile to Neptune, or Uranus sextile to Neptune there, forming this double sextile trine formation that I've been talking about all summer. This formation is the defining alignment of our times. It will be with us for years, for at least 2024 through 2029. Um, at least those years, and it will come closer to exact and then move farther apart during different parts of the year. So this year we had very, very close approach. Next year we will again have a very, very close approach, and that will continue over the years at different points. Um, so so that that's what I wanted to look at. We also have Venus in Libra here. And so Venus ruling Libra, Venus uh, uh, as the ruler of Libra is also in Libra. And that emphasizes again this need for balance, this need for mutual respect, for listening, for bringing yourself to the table, not just respecting others, but also respecting yourself enough to honor your perspective and bring your perspective forward. And that is why much of the work that we do in relationships is so complicated and so hard. There's not this like easy way forward, right? Because you have your perspective, they have their perspective. We're not always in agreement. We're not always on the same page or seeing things the same way. And yet we have to figure out how to work together. That's certainly true of a long-term partnership. There are always gonna be places where you don't see things eye to eye, and you still have to work together and figure out how to live together or whatever. So that's also true in some of our other relationships, although maybe there's less pressure in other relationships because maybe you don't live with the person. Maybe it's just not, something that is it's something you can walk away from more easily. But it can also be that thorn in your side, a colleague, a friend who, you have some friction with, just can come up again and again as a repeating theme. So this new moon and the moon cycle that follows are going to be about how we do that work, how we show up, and the maturity that we bring to these processes, to these challenges, to what is showing up and how we respond to it. To have that sense of grace, that sense of a willingness to step into uncomfortable territory, to have difficult conversations, but also be willing to put your own attachments, your ego aside long enough to see what is here, what is possible when you work this out together with another person. So, listening, but also speaking your truth and working toward that elusive balance, that dynamic balance that is never one thing, but is constantly changing, but is also inviting you to move forward on your healing path. So that's what I have to share with you. Let me know what if you enjoyed seeing the chart or want to see those more in the future. I can try to do that more. Thank you so much for being here. I am Marina Orms, and you can book a reading with me at astrologyheals.com. And you can learn more about what I'm doing with the lunar nodes at transformationalastrology.com. The lunar nodes, really quick, are your evolutionary medicine. They show you how to get where you're going, they can help you work through this relationship stuff and so much more. Everything that is inviting you to do the hard stuff in your life can be made more easy when you understand the lunar nodes. So, transformationalastrology.com, learn more about that. And thank you again for being here and for subscribing. I will see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self care. Bye for now.